Hi guys, welcome back to Cooking with Pouncey. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, if you will. I would certainly appreciate that. And if you like what you see, please pass this video on to others as you see fit. But again, thank you so much for tuning in to Cooking with Pouncey. So anyway, we're going to get started with this little bird I've got here, and it's a 12-pounder. And I'll just walk through the process that I'm going to put it together for you. Everybody does turkey. We're going to cook with Pouncey today. You guys and I with this turkey process here. And so I'm going to be dropping the camera down and letting you see what I'm going to be doing here. And we're going to be doing that process here in just a moment. So as I said, I got a little guy here. This is I'm saying guy, it could be a girl. A 12-pounder, a little over 12 pounds. It's probably the smallest turkey I've ever cooked. And so I've got that, and then of course I've got my stuffing that I made yesterday, scrumptious stuffing. There's a video about this wonderful Italian sausage stuffing. So we're going to be stuffing this bird with that stuffing here in just a moment, and then I'll show you that process. Very simple, guys. And so let's get started, and I'll drop the camera down so you can see the movements of the hands of Pouncey here. Okay guys, here we go. Back again with this 12-pounder, a little over 12 pounds, I guess it was. And I've got my little roasting pan here. Most people got roasting pans. I did line the pan. This year I'm going to line this pan. It'll help in the cleaning up process afterwards. So I've got a sheet of aluminum foil in the bottom of my pan here. I've got some more aluminum foil here because I'm going to temp this thing for about the last 45 minutes of its cooking time, which is going to be 3 hours. I'm going to allow for this bird here, and that's about 15 minutes per pound. It's going to be stuffed. It would be less per pound if I didn't stuff it, but I'm going to put the stuffing that I just showed you inside the cavity of that turkey as well. The only seasoning I'm going to be using, guys, is going to be salt and pepper, actually. And that's right here, just some regular table salt. I've got some coarse ground pepper here that I'm going to be sprinkling over it too. I don't mind the flecks of black pepper on top of the turkey. What I'm going to use to adhere this seasoning then, if you will, to this is this olive oil. Just going to put a light coating of olive oil, right? Just regular olive oil, or you can use vegetable oil if you want yourself as well. But I'll be doing that, and that'll help this seasoning adhere to the skin. I'm not going to put any seasoning inside the cavity here. I don't need to do that because the stuffing has got seasoning in it. And I want to watch the sodium content, sodium amounts that you're going to be putting in here. So I'll be sprinkling a little on here, as I said. I won't be putting any salt and pepper in the cavity. It'll just be that stuffing which is already seasoned. I'm going to also make a tent out of this aluminum foil, and I'll do that right now. Because you know you're going to tent it, or if you're going to tent it, you need to do that. Go ahead and form your tent right now, because once you start forming your tent after your turkey starts cooking, now you're going to be losing all that heat trying to get a tent made to put on the turkey to slow down the browning process. So I'm just going to kind of crumple it up here. I'm kind of looking at that breast, and I'm kind of saying, well, I'm going to need a piece about this big. And so that's all I'm doing. I'm just kind of ahead, going to get my, even in the shape of the turkey. Look at that, guys. Look at that. See that? So I'm going to just do that when that turkey gets to a certain point. And again, the last 45 minutes of its cooking time, I'm going to be using my little tent that's already made, and I'll just place it over the top of the turkey, all right? So I'm going to move this bird over here right now. I'm ready to touch this, I guess. And guys, if you're going to wash your turkey, and that's certainly okay to do that, and you might say, well, why wouldn't you? I don't wash my turkey. The problem with that, guys, and I've talked about it in videos before too, when you're doing turkey and chicken and you're washing it in your sink, and I'm pointing because the sink's over there, you really are spreading more bacteria than you think you are, just trying to get the turkey what you think is clean. When this goes in the oven at 350 degrees for 3 hours, as I indicated a while ago, nothing is alive on this bird after that. And so you have to be careful when you're washing it in the sink, because you're splashing, and you don't really even see that, but you're splashing and you're spreading bacteria. So enough further ado here. Kind of tricky, because now I touched the bird and I can't be touching my stuff, and that's called cross-contamination. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to peel these off, and I'm going to get started with the oil as I indicated here. And let's say I'm going to do that right now. I'll put that. All right, guys. So here we go. Well, again, as I indicated, here's my olive oil. I inadvertently touched this bottle after I had picked this bird up and taken it from the roasting pan. So I wiped this off. I'd have changed gloves. And again, I got to emphasize the cross-contamination part. Be really, really careful. Again, I changed gloves after having touched this bottle, after I had both hands on this turkey. So again, I'm just going to put just a little bit, maybe I'll just put it in my hand here, a little bit of oil. That's not much. I've got about a teaspoon, and I'm going to have a little bit more on it. But I'm just going to coat this lightly with this olive oil, and that's probably all I need right there. And that's about 2 teaspoons of oil. And I'm going to do this here all over the turkey so that my seasoning will stick to it, adhere to it, if you will. A bit more here. I could feel it dry there, so I'm going to put a little bit more there. And that's about ready to be seasoned. Again, I'm going to put some here in the back here, not too much. Probably got 3 teaspoons all total for this huge 12-pounder, guys. My turkey gets smaller every year. What does that tell you? People don't want to come to see Pouncy cooking, so you can watch it online now. That's why, guys. I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm saying all that for. So anyway, that's all done, and I'm going to now put some seasoning on the back of it before I flip it over, so I don't have to turn it again. So let's go over some black pepper. As I indicated, I'm going to put some pepper on there, and let me get that all over. So you see, guys, when I do this, I don't have to worry about flipping it over again. Let's do this here. Some salt, and not a whole lot. I'm just going to season that skin, is what I'm doing, actually. And that's what I'm doing. I'll make sure I get some underneath the wing. This one too. Okay, and then I start rolling it over. And there's other seasonings I could put on there. I could put some garlic salt on here, some onion powder, and all that sort of stuff, guys. You can do what you want to do with your turkey. But this is how I'm going to do it. So it's simple. I'm trying to make it simple, and that's what I'm doing here, okay? And just lightly seasoning it with salt, the legs as well. I'm not going into the cavity, as I indicated earlier as well. That's all I'm going to be doing right there now for this turkey, in terms of seasoning it on the outside. Get some down in that wing area there. All right. How about on the tail there? I won't tell you what my mother used to call the tail end of the turkey, for God's sakes. But anyway, and she liked to eat that too. All right, a little pepper goes on here too, again. All right. The butcher, whomever did the turkey, prepped this turkey, didn't leave me that flap of skin that hangs down there for my stuffing I used to put in there. Now I'll not have a spot to do that, so but I'll have a lot of stuffing in the pans, no big deal. And that looks pretty good right now in terms of the seasoning I'm going to put on there. And that's all I'm going to do. That's only salt and pepper. None is going in here. I am going to put my stuffing in there, guys, as you know. So I'm going to change gloves right quick, and I'm going to start putting my stuffing inside the cavity. I'll fill it up. One of the things that's important as well, I will loosely fill this cavity with stuffing. I'm not going to just pack it in there real tight. I want it to be loose so that it can breathe and air can get through it, because that stuffing is going to expand. You'll actually see it explode out of this turkey, and that's kind of cool. But that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to put that stuffing inside of here. This is the stuffing I'm going to be using, and I made a big pan yesterday, but I'm going to be using an amount of this to do that cavity. So I'm going to shut the camera off for just a moment. I'm going to reposition here, and we're going to get this bird stuffed, okay? Guys, in my quest to run through this thing with you, I forgot about my Mirepoix here, and I'm going to use this. This is onion, celery, and carrots, okay, and commonly known as a Mirepoix. So I'm going to use this in the bottom of my roasting pan, and this is very flavorful. And what I'm going to do here, since I got my rack in there, I'm just going to spread it in the bottom of my, I think you can see that. I'm going to just spread this in the bottom of my pan. That's about 1 carrot, I think it is, and a couple of celery sticks and the tops of the celery and stuff, and the bottom of an onion, but all I want is flavor. So we're going to line up my pan with that. Completely forgot about this. I cut these up last night, actually, and left them in the refrigerator. So let's do that. Shake those in there, and that's some good flavor, because all the drippings from that turkey is going to go right there on that foil, and I'm going to be using those liquids in order to flavor my gravy and stuff, okay? So that's what that's for. Sorry about that. I forgot to tell you about that. So now we will proceed with the old get the bird stuff routine here. So let me do that. Let me do that now. And again, I'm being kind of weird here because I don't want to. Again, I don't want to show you guys that. Oh, look at that! He touched this and he shouldn't have. But I'm gonna do it like and I would be doing this if it wasn't on camera as well, because you really have to be careful with the cross-contamination process. All right. So I'm going to shut down for just a moment. I'll be right back when we get ready to put the stuffing in here. All right, guys. Here we go again with this deal. I've separated the stuffing that I'm going to put in the bird here from the dish that I had over here, because again, guys, I'm really trying to be careful with this cross-contamination thing and not to cross-contaminate. It's very important, okay? So I took out an amount that I think is going to be what I need to stuff the turkey, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So anyway, my stuffing is going to go in, and once again, I'm not going to pack it in there, guys, but I'll show you. I'm just taking handfuls like this, and I'm just going to drop it in there right now. Drop it in there, kind of push it a little bit. And I'm not worried about cross-contamination because this stuffing is going in the turkey. And again, I can feel what I'm doing. I'm just kind of slightly pushing it in there, which is a good thing. Like I said, I don't want to pack it because it's going to swell. And it's going to actually come out of the turkey over here, okay? All right. Now I'm going to have my trusted assistant put me some more stuffing in here because I need a little bit more just to come out to the very end of it here, okay? So bear with me for 1 second. And that's what I'm going to do. All right. Okay. And again, I would put some stuffing in the neck of it here, but there's no skin there to put that stuffing. And again, I'm packing it loose, guys. I'm not really pushing it in there, all right? All right. That's going to be scrumptious. I'm telling you, people. I'm just telling you now. All right. So now we're going to grab a roasting pan here. I think you can see what I'm doing. I think, yes, you can. And we're going to grab the turkey, minus the skin deal here, so I can put some of my stuffing in there. We're going to put it right here. I'll let the legs do what it's got to do. And I'm not going to tie those legs either. I'm just going to leave it go just like it is and put it in the oven just like that. I cut the wing tips off. I didn't have to, but I did. I cut the tips of the wings off, and so it's just going to lay right there just like it is now, and it's going to cook. Again, I'm going to go for 3 hours. I will be at 45 minutes remaining in cooking. I'm going to put that tent that I showed you over there. I'm going a lot faster or slower than I should be. I should be done with this, but I'm trying to walk through it with you guys, okay? So I will be putting a tent on it that I made as I indicated, and I'm going to pull it at about 45 minutes. Move this out of the way here. Now I'll be using my thermometer to temp it, and I'm going to pull it at about 155. I'm going to pull it out and let it rest, and believe it or not, when you do that process, this turkey actually continues to cook. That phenomenon drives me crazy, but it works. Same thing when you're cooking a steak or something. You pull it out, you let it rest, the temperature actually rises. You would think it wouldn't, but it does. So I'll be pulling it at about 155 degrees, using my thermometer to check it on the thickest part of the turkey here, and then take it out and let it rest for about 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes maybe. But the temperature actually will rise, and I'm letting it hopefully rise to that 165, even after I take it out of the oven. I'm kind of rambling, guys, but that's what I'll probably do. All right, so I'm going to be putting this in the oven right now. The oven's already heated, and I'm putting it in my rack here. Bye, turkey. Next time you see it, it'll be nice and brown, pretty, guys. My house is going to smell unbelievable. You know that. When you do that with turkey, looking good, guys. So the timer starts right now, and 3 hours later, to the magic of time, the next time you see that turkey, it'll be nice and brown. Okay, guys? So I'll be back with you in about 3 hours. All right, guys, here we are, real time. I've got another 45 minutes to go on this bird. We're going to look at it. This is the first time I'm going to be opening the oven, which is at 350 we talked earlier. And I've got my little tent here that I already preformed, kind of, sort of, for that breast area. And I think while I'm in here, I'm going to do, just for the heck of it, I'm going to do a temperature check just to see where we are with it, all right? And then I'll tent it, and then we'll be back in another 45 minutes thereafter, and this process should be done. So here we go. I'm going to get my thermometer ready, and I recommend you have a thermometer as well. Don't guess at it, guys. And a little pop-up thing in the turkey, use your thermometer if you've got one. They're relatively inexpensive, and you'll need it for more than just a turkey, all right? So here we go. It's looking good. It is really looking good. So far, so good. It's looking very good. All right then. I'm going to do a check here. Because like I said, this is a little bird, and we're going to check right in here by this thigh here. See what we've got here. 52, 56. Well, I'll tell you what, this turkey's almost done. 64. I wanted 165 total, remember? We talked about getting that out of the oven at 155 or so. Yep, she's almost done already, guys, believe it or not. And like I said, it's only a 12 pounder. Only a 12 pounder. I'm going to cover that for just a little bit. And I don't believe I'm going to let this go for another 45 minutes. I'm not. I'm going to stick it right here. And that's why you need a thermometer, because even though that little pop-up thing is still not popped up, that turkey's reading 165, okay? And I don't want to overcook it. So, there we go. We got a little tint over it, and I'm going to let it sit there for probably another, I'm going to say another half hour, guys, maybe less than that. So, that's going to be it for that process, and you see how those times vary and what could happen. I'm just glad my senses told me to start checking it and to check that temperature. So we'll be back, and it's going to be ready to come out of this oven. Guys, one of the things I think I'll do too is I'm going to check the temperature of that stuffing. Let's do that right now. Let's do that. And I want that 165 on that stuffing as well. So here we go. Here we go. 34. Okay, I am still reaching for, I got 144 here. I want 165, so that extra time, 15 minutes or so, is going to get that stuffing to where we need it to be, at that 165 level. We know the turkey's going to be done, okay? So that's that. I'll be back shortly, guys. All right, guys, we're going to pull this bird out of here. As I said, varying temperatures in ovens and all that sort of stuff. My gut tells me, along with my thermometer, that I need to take this out. The last reading I got on the stuffing itself was about 144. As this turkey will continue to cook as it rests, and we talked about that briefly, I want to take this out because I do not want to dry this turkey out. And one of the other things I'm going to do too, guys, I'm going to immediately, you might not see it, but take the stuffing out of this turkey. Okay, I'm kind of rambling here. Anyway, dodging the heat. I'm going to pull this out here. And let's just, it looks good. Looks very, very good. So we're going to take it out because I do not want to dry this out. It looks really, really good. It does. It looks really, really good. All right. So we're going to set it here again because it's going to rest. And believe it or not, that temperature is going to actually come up a bit more once it sits here and rests. I'm going to let it rest for about 10 minutes, maybe 15. And then I'm going to pull that stuffing out of it. All of it. I have no stuffing here. Remember, I didn't have that flap. So I'll be taking all the stuffing out of the cavity of this turkey in about 10 or 15 minutes max. But pull it all out of there because you don't want that stuffing, your stuffing to sit in your turkey. Because once it does its thing, when it rests and all that, and the temperatures start to change, the temperature will now start to go back the other way because it's now at its maximum heating point once it sits there. Pull that stuffing out. You don't want that stuffing packed in there, and it is now because remember I told you that stuffing's going to swell. So take all that stuffing out of that cavity, and I'm going to put it in a separate dish, if you will, and then this turkey will be ready to carve once it sits for a little bit longer in its resting period. Okay, guys, we're past the resting period, and guess what? That little gizmo popped up while it was resting, so that thing worked out perfect like it was supposed to in conjunction with my thermometer that lets me know for real that I had the temperatures that I needed, that I was seeking here, and that was 165, including the stuffing. Now we're going to take that stuffing out of this turkey. Like I said, guys, it's very important that you take that stuffing out immediately. You don't want that stuffing hanging out in the turkey. And we're not going to be carving this right, but I want to show you guys my beautiful 117,000-year-old turkey dish. You guys got one of these? This is kind of cool. I can't believe it hasn't been busted over the years. I bet I've had this thing for 45 years or longer, maybe. Okay, that's kind of a cool plate. So I'll put that there. And I'm going to use my little turkey fork tongue things here and pick this up, I hope, without a disaster. And I'm going to set it over here like that. And I'm going to get this pan out of the way here. do it right now, guys. Let's do that. I'm going to save the drippings, like I said, okay? I'm going to deglaze that thing there, and that's what we're going to do. But I'm going to move this here now. And again, I said, and I'm serious, guys, take that stuffing out of that turkey as quick as you can, and that's what I'm going to be doing here right now. All right. And I'm just going to be pulling it out of here, putting it in a side dish. That stuffing is good. That stuffing is incredible. See all that steam coming out of there? It's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff, guys. I think you can see me taking that stuffing out of there. That cavity's not too deep, and I don't want to be moving my thing around to slide it off the cutting board here. All right, that's looking good, guys. But again, it's very critical that you pull that stuffing out. See how dense that stuffing is? That stuffing will just hold its heat, and you don't want that. You want that stuffing to cool down, even if you got to put it back in the oven at some other point in time and heat it up. But all the juices from that turkey, the reason I stuff my turkey, sometimes I haven't, is to get that flavor from that turkey and that stuffing as well, okay? I'm all the way up to the neck part. I can feel it. In fact, if I pushed hard enough, that spoon will probably go through there. I don't want to do that. Now, I want to let that turkey start cooling off, and that's what it's going to do now, because that cavity's free. There's nothing in there holding that heat in there, and that's what you don't want. So here's all my stuffing that I'm going to put in a side dish. I got it right here. That's too big. I'll get a smaller one. But I'm going to put all this stuffing in a side dish, and that'll be for another point today as we eat supper, to reheat it if I have to. But it's out of there. My point was to get it out of here, okay? And it's out of there. So there you have it, guys. And I want to thank you very much for tuning in to Cooking with Pouncey. Here's the bird. Turkey bird is the word. That's kind of a weird statement, but there you have it. I'm going to hold that up for you so you can see it, I guess, a little better maybe. Here's all that wonderful stuffing to it as well, guys. And it smells unbelievable, all right? All right, so guys, I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving dinner as much as we're going to enjoy this. I can see moisture in there too. That's beautiful. And again, I hope you guys enjoy this if you decide to make it at some point in time for your dinner, next Thanksgiving or Christmas if you would. And thank you again for tuning in to Cooking with Pouncey. If you like what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you have a mind to. Share this video, of course, with others as well. Again, guys, we're going to enjoy this. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye now.